Hey friends, this is Moon here and welcome again to my channel. So friends, today's topic of discussion is Lord Byron's Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, and in this session I'm going to discuss the Canto by Summary. Okay, so before starting the video, I'm requesting you all that please stay at your home, stay safe, stay alert, maintain social distancing because that's what we can do to prevent the spread of Corona or COVID-19, right? Okay, so before starting the video, you have to know a few things about Childe Harold's Pilgrimage. So actually, Lord Byron's Childe Harold's Pilgrimage is a long narrative poem. It is divided into 4 cantos and it is dedicated to Lady Charlotte Harley, whom Lord Byron in this poem called Ianthe, and to her this poem is dedicated. And one more thing we have to know, which is this poem is an autobiographical poem. Now let's start discussing the summary. So at first we have summary of the canto first or first canto. So in the canto first, Byron introduces Childe Harold, who is a young English nobleman who has been wasting his time with drinking, idleness and making love to unsuitable women. So it means that in his youth, Childe Harold was a kind of restless aristocrat man. Then, after time progresses, he feels dejected from his current state, or he became bored. Okay, then in this poem later, Lord Byron shows that Harold went out from his native land or from his homeland to an aimless journey without any proper destination. Okay, actually Harold's native land is England, and from England he wished to visit Europe. Okay, so from his native land he first visited Portugal, then in Spain, then in various places which I will discuss in the later portion. Actually friends, while writing this poem, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, Lord Byron himself was travelling, and of course the places which Lord Byron travelled are mentioned in this poem. Okay, so while Childe Harold was about to leave his house, then he bids farewell to no one, no friends or family, not his mother and sister, because he loves his mother and sister so much, but while leaving his house, he do not bid farewell to them. Okay. So at first, Harold visited Portugal and there he visited the battlegrounds. Okay. And thus, through visiting the battlegrounds, here Byron brings out the historical as well as political and moral issues that was prevalent at the time of the war. Okay. And Harold also visited the battlegrounds where the armies of Napoleon I, means Napoleon, clashed with the British and Spanish forces during the war, and the name of the war was Peninsular War. Okay, so by remembering all these things, Byron laments for the loss of life, especially for those who gave their life for liberty or for the preservation of liberty. Okay, so then Harold visited Spain and there he witnesses a Sunday bullfight. At this point, he was fascinated by the beauty, by the song of festivities around him, but still he feels an acute pain which alienates him from the joys. So actually friends, in this first canto, you will find an atmosphere of melancholy and futility. Okay. Now we have the summary of the canto, the second. So the second canto showcases Harold's journey to Greece and Albania. So as here, Byron gives a depiction of Greece or Albania, that's why in the opening of canto the second, in stanza 1 and 2, Byron invokes Greek goddess Athena. And then after this, he reflects the past of Athens and Greece. Actually, Byron is a stern admirer of classical world. He loves Greek, he loves the classical world. That's why here at this point, being a romantic poet, Byron gives a beautiful, most stunning description of the classical world. So here Byron remembers that once various religions were a part of Athenian culture, and then he mourns on the despoiling of the various ancient Greek or Athenian structures, treasures, buildings such as Parthenon's structure, which was damaged in 1687. Okay, so after mourning for the classical or ancient treasures, Byron mourns for the ancient people, classical people like Socrates, whom he regarded as Athens' wisest son. And then after mourning for the loss of the classical world, classical ancient people, the poet, means Byron, mourns for the loss of his friend, who is John Eldeston. Okay, so as I said before that Lord Byron gives the description of classical world in an authentic way, and that's why it is said that the description of the mysterious land of Albania in this poem represents one of the earliest authentic representation for this exotic country by an Englishman. So I think it is clear. So now we have the summary of the Canto the Third. So in this canto, Harold travels to Belgium, the Rhine, Switzerland and the Alps. Actually, in this canto, at first, Byron started recalling her daughter, whose name was Ada. Okay, so he started recalling her because he had not seen her since his marriage breaks. Okay, so this canto includes a description of Waterloo and Belgium where Napoleon was defeated. Okay, so at this point, he was still unable to completely detach himself from the entailments of social life or from his pains in his personal life. Okay, so then in order to free himself from the entailments of social life, in order to seek peace, Harold flees to the solitude of natural surroundings. Then he finds nature to be the one true consoler. He feels a kind of communication with the desert, the forest, the ocean, the mountains. So at this point, Harold's character began to change. Okay, then Harold reached Germany, and then there in the banks of the Rhine River, Harold finally feels a sense of hope. He begins to see some meaning in the human condition. He then continues his journey. So friends, in the first two cantos, you will see that there is a pessimistic tone in Harold's as well as Byron's approach. Okay, but in this canto, we can see an optimistic tone, because here the poet, rather the protagonist, understands that despite of the melancholy that is prevalent in this world, there is also goodness and happiness, though they are not attainable easily. Now we have the summary of the Canto the Fourth. So Canto 4 takes Harold to Italy, at first to Venice. That was decayed, but still it looks so beautiful. Okay, so then Harold visited from Italy to Rome. Then Harold finally dies. Okay, so at this point, Byron confesses one truth. Byron, through Harold's character, confesses that he still has some love for his native country, and he hopes that he will be remembered there. And Byron himself confesses that if he dies on foreign soil, then his spirit will return to his native land, which is England. This canto ends with Byron's famous apostrophe or address to the ocean. Okay, here he addresses the natural forces like ocean as constant and as indestructible, in contrast to the human power, which is petty and meaningless. So friends, this was the whole summary of Childe Harold's Pilgrimage by Lord Byron. Thank you so much for watching this video.